Right, let's get one thing straight. Formula One, for all its glamour and its roaring engines, has become a bit predictable. It's a spreadsheet war, a battle of boffins in white coats staring at wind tunnels and muttering about tenths of a second. What it needs, what the world is crying out for, is a proper dose of thunder, a shot of pure, unadulterated, glorious madness. Imagine, if you will, a scenario so utterly bonkers. I'm talking about a project that would make the Concorde look like a paper aeroplane, and the Apollo program feel like a weekend camping trip. Picture the scene: Bugatti, the absolute masters of preposterous speed and W16 powered lunacy, get a bit bored of making cars for billionaires to park in Monaco. Horatio Pagani, a man who treats carbon fiber the way Michelangelo treated marble, decides his creations need a new, more violent purpose. Renault, the engine gurus at Renault, who know a thing or two about bolting winning Formula One power units together, decide they want to unleash something truly biblical upon the world. They get on the phone, they have a meeting, and they decide to build a Formula One car. This wouldn't just be another car on the grid, this would be a statement. A machine so advanced, so beautiful, and so terrifyingly fast that it would redefine the very concept of what a racing car could be. This is not about finding loopholes in the regulations. This is about tearing up the rulebook, setting it on fire, and using the ashes to forge a new Excalibur of speed. This is the story of what happens when genius, artistry, and raw, unapologetic power decide to go racing together, and it would be without a shadow of a doubt the greatest thing in the world. So how do you even begin to build such a mythical creature? You start by locking the best engineers from 3 completely different worlds in a room and telling them to play nice. The French delegation from Bugatti arrives focused on one thing and one thing only: power. They've been building engines with more cylinders than a small village has people for decades. They proposed a hybrid system, but one so potent it would make current F1 power units look like a lawnmower. The combustion engine would be a Renault masterpiece, small, light, screaming to an ungodly RPM. Then, the Italians from Pagani show up, probably late, but looking impossibly stylish. They don't talk about horsepower, they talk about anima, the soul of the machine. Their domain is the chassis and the aerodynamics. They would insist on using materials we haven't even heard of yet: carbo, titanium, unobtainium. Every single surface, every vent, every winglet would have to slice the air with brutal efficiency and also be breathtakingly beautiful. The cockpit would be a work of art, a bespoke suit of carbon, Alcantara, tailored to its driver. The Renault engineers, the hardened veterans of countless Formula One campaigns, act as the glue. They are the pragmatists, the ones who know how to make a car survive a 2-hour race without exploding in a ball of expensive flames. They design the gearbox that can handle the torque of a small moon, and the suspension that translates all that power and aerodynamic grip onto the tarmac without snapping in half. It's a clash of cultures: French brute force, Italian artistry, Gallic racing know-how. The project is codenamed Trident, representing the 3-pronged assault on the senses and the record books. The factory is a top-secret facility somewhere in the Alps, a Bond villain's lair of automotive creation. Arguments would be legendary, but from this crucible of passion, ego, and genius, a car unlike any other would begin to emerge, a testament to what is possible when you throw the budget and the rulebook out of the window. The result of this unholy alliance is the Bugatti Pagani Renault BPR01. And my word, it is a thing to behold. From a distance it has the aggressive, low-slung Formula One profile. As you get closer, the details begin to sing. Bugatti's influence is immediately obvious in the iconic C-shaped line sweeping from the top of the side pod around the cockpit. That C-shape isn't just for show, it's a complex aerodynamic channel guiding air toward the gargantuan rear wing. The paintwork is a deep, lustrous French racing blue. Woven into it is the bare carbon fiber, showing the perfect weave beneath. Horatio Pagani's team has clearly been allowed to run wild. The wing mirrors are sculpted like jewels held on by delicate titanium stalks. The front wing isn't a collection of crude planes of carbon, it's an intricate multi-layered sculpture. It looks almost alive. Even the wheel nuts are tiny milled titanium works of art. And then there's the rear. The exhaust system is a Pagani signature quad pipe arrangement, centrally mounted and finished in titanium, glowing blue and purple with heat. It's surrounded by a diffuser so complex it looks like an alien cathedral, designed to suck the car to the road with ferocious intent. But this car is not just a pretty face. The technology beneath the skin is pure science fiction. The Renault power unit, boosted by Bugatti's hybrid know-how, is rumored to produce well over 1,200 horsepower in qualifying trim. More than that, it features an experimental active aero system, banned in Formula One for decades. On the straights, the wings flatten to an almost zero-drag profile, but under braking they snap into an aggressive high downforce position. Small flaps along the body also deploy to act as air brakes. The car literally changes shape depending on what it's doing, an automotive transformer built for pure speed. Instead of a conventional steering wheel cluttered with a million buttons, the BPR-01 uses a heads-up display projected directly onto the driver's visor. Vital information, speed, gear, tire temperatures, appear to float in the air, allowing the driver to keep their eyes glued to the track. The controls are simplified with many functions managed by a clever AI co-pilot that optimizes energy recovery and deployment strategies in real time. It's a cockpit from the year 2050 dropped into the here and now, Pagani's bespoke luxury, and Renault's hard-nosed racing functionality. It is quite simply the ultimate driving machine. Now, a car this revolutionary, this powerful, this terrifying, cannot be driven by just anyone. You can't hand the keys to the automotive equivalent of the Death Star to some fresh-faced rookie with a handful of Formula 2 wins. You need drivers who are more than just fast. You need legends. Men who operate on a different plane of existence, whose talent is so immense it's almost frightening. You need the two greatest drivers of their generation, two gladiators at the absolute peak of their powers. You need Lewis Hamilton and you need Max Verstappen. There is simply no other choice. Lewis Hamilton is the artist. He is the 7-time world champion, a driver of sublime feel and precision. He can coax a car to do things it has no right to do, caressing it through corners with a silkiness that defies physics. For a machine as complex and technologically advanced as the BPR-01, you need his intelligence and his deep understanding of vehicle dynamics. If Lewis is the artist with a scalpel, Max is the warrior with a sledgehammer. He is aggression personified, a driver with an almost supernatural car control and a relentless never-say-die attitude. They are the yin and yang of modern Formula One. Choosing both is the masterstroke. It's not just about having two of the best, it's about having two different kinds of genius. They would push each other to heights neither could reach alone, their fierce rivalry now contained within the same four walls. The team wouldn't just have the best car, they would have the most complete and formidable driver pairing in the history of motorsport, a perfect storm of talent ready to be unleashed. They would push the car, the engineers and each other to the absolute breaking point. The competition to be the top dog within the team would be more fierce and more compelling than the actual championship battle against the rest of the field. This internal war would, paradoxically, be the team's greatest strength. It's a high-risk, high-reward strategy, but for a project this ambitious, it's the only way. Let's talk numbers, because in the world of fast cars, numbers are everything. And the numbers associated with the BPR-01 are completely and utterly insane. It doesn't just accelerate, it teleports. We're talking 0 to 200 miles per hour in under 6 seconds. The sheer violence of its acceleration would be enough to rearrange a driver's internal organs. Monza, Baku, tracks that reward horsepower. Active aero wings flattened for minimal drag, the car would comfortably exceed 260 miles per hour. Pushing the limits of what the tires and the driver's courage can handle. Drivers pulling sustained G-forces of over 7G, possibly even touching 8G. That's more than a fighter pilot endures during combat maneuvers. It requires a level of physical fitness and neck strength that is almost superhuman. The car would take legendary corners completely flat out, at speeds 30 to 40 miles per hour faster than any other Formula One car in history. This performance would shatter every record in the book. The tires and brakes would need exotic materials to survive, otherwise they'd melt after a single lap. The moment the BPR-01 is unveiled in the Barcelona pit lane for pre-season testing, the Formula One paddock descends into chaos. They march to the FIA offices with rulebooks in hand. They scream about illegal technologies, power output and budget. The internet melts. Media reaction floods screens. Fans erupt in excitement at circuits. Merchandise sells out in minutes. Fans flock to circuits in record numbers. Not just to see a race, to witness a piece of history. The FIA is in an impossible position. Do they ban it and punish innovation, enraging millions of new fans? Or let it race? Every GP a two-horse contest? The BPR-01 creates a new class. Class A for the BPR-01, Class B for everyone else. The stage for the grand debut is set. There could be no better place than Spa-Francorchamps. A sea of orange for Verstappen. Union Jacks for Hamilton. The air crackles with an energy not felt in Formula One for decades. As the cars are wheeled out for the first practice session, a hush falls over the paddock. When the BPR-01s fire up, the sound is different. A deeper, more complex roar, an electrical whine that echoes through the trees. When Hamilton pulls out of the garage for his installation lap, it's a global event. Every camera is on him. When he completes his first flying lap, the timing screen flashes up a number that seems like a typo, 4 seconds faster than anyone else. The paddock gasps. Sunday, race day. The 5 red lights illuminate one by one against a gray, dramatic sky. Hamilton is on pole, having pipped Verstappen by a mere 0.007 of a second. As the lights go out, the BPR-01s launch with an unnatural ferocity. The Le Source hairpin, Eau Rouge, taken absolutely flat. It's a 2-car race from the very first second. On the final lap, Verstappen pulls alongside Hamilton. They race wheel to wheel at over 240 miles per hour. Neither man yields an inch. He holds it for the rest of the lap, crossing the line just 0.2 of a second ahead of Hamilton. They have not just won, they have delivered a statement.